මගේ YouTube channel එකට ඔයාලා සියලු දෙනාම සාදරයෙන් පිළිගන්නවා. හොඳයි යාළුවනේ. ඔයාලා හැමෝම දන්නවා මේ COVID-19 වසංගතය හමුවේ මුළු ලෝකයේම ආර්ථිකය අඩපණ වෙලා කියලා. මේ වගේ මුළු ලෝකෙම කොටස් වෙළඳපොළවල් විශාල ලෙස පහත වැටී ඇති බවත් මේ දවස්වල නිතර දකින්න අහන්න ලැබෙන දෙයක් තමයි. කොළඹ කොටස් වෙළඳපළටද මේ COVID-19 වසංගතයේ ඒ ආකාරයෙන්ම බලපා ඇති බව කොළඹ කොටස් වෙළඳපළ පිළිබඳව උනන්දුවක් ඇති ඔයාලා සියලු දෙනාම දන්නා කාරණයක්. මේ කොළඹ කොටස් වෙළඳපළ සම්බන්ධව මෙරට කෝටිපති ව්‍යාපාරික ධම්මික පෙරේරා මහතා සහ මෙරට හිටපු මහ බැංකුව අධිපතිවරයෙකු වන අජිත් නිවාඩ් කබ්‍රාල් මහතා විසින් ඉදිරිපත් කරන ලද අදහස් කිහිපයක් කොළඹ කොටස් වෙළඳපළ පිළිබඳව උනන්දුවක් ඇති ඔයාලා වෙනුවෙන්ම ඉදිරිපත් කරමි. උපුටා ගැනීම අන්තර්ජාලය ඇසුරින්.
Just a quick response. Was it sort of justifiable that the stock market was closed for 6 weeks, Nivad and Dhammika? Do you justify that decision when the bond markets were open, other markets were open?
Monista, because that people cannot see that with the curfew, the future what is going to be. From tomorrow, when they open, I think that everybody is positive because they know that they can do the business, right? Because of that, from tomorrow, with the situation, I think maybe I don't know when they are going to make, but now is the time to think. But before, with the closed environment, with the curfew, then there were no prediction when the curfew going to be lifted. I don't think the government side decision is good. But from today, tomorrow, then you have to see. Until today, I can justify.
Yeah, now tomorrow, though it's opening up, I just saw alert saying that the Health Director General has said not to operate the public service buses. So we have one.
I don't know. This is the reason. You have to see what is the size of the circuit breaker.
Yeah.
What time,
No, I'm talking about the confidence level coming back to resume. Nivad,
I'll respond to. Let me say this. I'm very, very happy that the market is going to open.
Okay.
Because that might tell you what I feel. I have always taken the view that markets will sometimes be challenged, but you got to let markets operate. What if we didn't have a tea market? What would happen to the people who want to sell tea? What would happen to the people who want to buy tea? Even if the tea prices are up or down, the market must operate. Market has nothing to do with the prices. Market has nothing to do with the buyers and sellers alone. Market is only the marketplace, just like Manning Market or like Dambulla Market. If the Dambulla Market is there, people will come, and if they don't want to bring goods, they won't bring goods. If they want to keep the potatoes at home or their beans at home and not come to the market, that's a different issue. But the market, for it to be credible, must be open. So I am personally happy that even though late, that the market is opening this stuff, because markets have to open, and markets can meet their own needs, and buyers and sellers will decide at what price they want to transact business. There'll be one price for whatever products, and they can go ahead. So I think markets being open is a good thing. And when you look at markets, if we do have a few minutes, I might just take you through a few of the tips that I would like to give investors in the market, but maybe after Dhammika has also responded. I think right now, it's a good lesson for us. Markets are institutions that only provide the space for buyers and sellers to meet. I mean, we learned that in the first lesson in our economics book. What is the market? And they will say some markets are perfect, some are not perfect, but whichever way it is, markets are important. Otherwise, you cannot transact business. So I'm happy that the market is open. This first few days might have some challenges, but as Dhammika quite rightly mentioned, people will find their own levels. Sometimes they might think, okay, just because the market is open, that means it's a good thing. And there may be people who are willing to sell, but there may be people who are willing to buy as well. So let's see how that works. And I'm personally happy that that opportunity is there for people to once again transact business. And once they start doing that, we will see there will be a lot of confidence coming back into the economy. And that's very, very important.
can regulators look at some stop forced selling? Can there be some relief given for the fact that there were 6 weeks of or 7 weeks of no market closure? Can there be some financial relief given to the stakeholders, market participants? Can there be, or you feel that that's
I
a
think
fair?
the markets must let the markets come up and recommend something, Minister. That's important, because if the investors feel that there must be some benefit to be granted, I think there is a need for the markets themselves to develop it. That's what we call free markets. So what does the market recommend? Does the market, you see, when there is good times, the markets don't come and ask the government for anything. So when there is bad time also, markets must lock that into their overall systems. What do they want? What happened that that they need some support? So whichever way it is, I think it's important for them to also play a proactive role. And let's see what they come up with. And there must be a request made for that. So I think before the government jumps the gun and says, okay, we'll give you this relief or that relief, let the market come and say, this is the relief that we would think we should have. And this is how much it will cost. This is how we want it financed. And let them come up with an idea as to what they feel is the best way to go forward. Because then we'll see the true private sector spirit coming in. Because that's what we have been always searching for.
Okay, fine. Dhammika, I like to ask this question. I enjoy asking this question. Given the valuations, will you be looking at acquisitions, new acquisitions in the market in terms of, mergers and acquisitions? Are you, is it the right time to get in? And if you were to invest tomorrow, which sector will you invest in the stock market?
Notice that, that even though my group, that they have a green companies, amber companies, and the red companies, then first what I thought, that I have 58,000 people. I think better for next year to fine tune my companies without going the new companies. Because, I can do much better thing with my companies because they have 58,000 people. Actually, the Thailand and the Indonesian factories is not affected for this scenario. They're not the lockdown. Because of that, actually, we have a huge capacity. The 24 hours, we manufacture more than 100%. It's like 120% output from the Indonesian side. And the Indonesian, we have 2 factories. And the Thailand, we have 3 factories. The whole 5 factories, I know the 120% kind of level. Some industries, it's a very green Mista, I will tell you. Some companies amber, but what I'm sure for the next 3 months, I can bring them also into the green. Some sector I have a no, even though I put input, nothing I can do. Say the tourism, what I can do, nothing. They have no fine tuning part. Only we can do the maintenance, nice, we have no time to repair. Now we are doing that part, right? Renovation, everything without anything. But for me, exactly, I'm so confident that coronavirus will go before injection come. Then the injection pain is not going to be there for you. No need to put the injection, right? Before that, coronavirus will go. That number in my mind, I'm so confident because I know the theory behind why, even the USA government, why they are why they are waiting, because they have a mathematical calculation for that. It's not the exactly theory, but I know what is how to build a model. It's not an AI model. It's a mathematical, just a model with the A to B, B to C like that. Now it's come to like every 6 days, the next one is also one. Maybe after next month, first week, you will smile and wait because it's going down because we are upset with the things are coming up. That roller coaster will come for the next month, first week. The coronavirus, you will feel it next month, first week. Then, that will, the number you will justify with the next month, first week, the same time, right? Because of that, then this is the reason I told the number, the 17th Sunday, 11 o'clock, is the total patient going to be a 4.715 million. you write down, I need variation plus or minus 3%. You can see the number.
Dhammika, you may not be investing in the market, but if someone were to ask your advice, which sectors would you pick as growth sectors in the next?
Because normally, when I'm doing deep study, then I can comment. Because normally, just without to what I have to tell you into my mind, I'm not going to tell you. This is the reason even to speak. Some sector why people are asking me why you're not come to the public now. Because I need at least my staff 2,000 hours to do study for me. Then I need 400 hours to talk to 2 hours. Right? Then I need my time also at least 500 hours to prepare and come to that kind of a knowledge. Otherwise we cannot talk. But then I need another 200-300 hours to study the whole thing and come out. But at the moment I am stuck with the hobby. But education, because I have a goal, another 1 month I need to reach 100,000 students per day. I will, because next 30 days, I will achieve that goal.
Okay, fine.
Lisa, if I might just add on to something for that.
Yeah.
You see, while I wouldn't want to get into any arrangement or to any suggestion about any specific sectors, I want to only just mention, you see, this mark-to-market is what is driving you to think which sectors to go for today. I would think what is important is not this mark-to-market arrangement where you see a value tomorrow or day after tomorrow. You have to get used to more long-term type of investments, because then you don't go wrong too much. You still might have some instance where you will go wrong, but this investing at a time when you are in turmoil really is something that you should do with a long-term focus. If you think that I will invest today and tomorrow it will come down or it will go up, then that is not the way to look at proper investments. Even in times that markets are going down, a lot of people make money because you are averaging out your cost. If you buy, if you are buying, you are most probably finding that your average is coming down further and further. And in a market that is going up, if you are selling small parts of your portfolio, you are realizing your profits. So I think what we need to understand is that the whole idea behind the stock market needs to be changed in Sri Lanka. Many people think of it as a gamble, where you go in and then you sell something and make a little profit one day, and if you lose, you look at some person to find fault with because you lost some money. You must take a long-term view and go forward on that basis. If you do that, you will find that you are taking a 4 to 5 year horizon. And you must also invest funds in the market that you can commit for a longer period of time. If the money that you're going to have for breakfast, but you need to pay for breakfast tomorrow, you're going to invest today, you're in trouble because you don't know how much it will realize. And there are different types of instruments for that. If you want a fixed income, you must go into the fixed income market. If you want to have a erratic income, but you might make extraordinary profits, you may go into the equity market. If you want to have super profits, sometime you might go into the venture capital market. So it all depends on what your appetite is. So I think we are mixing up appetites here. So little by little, maybe you are one of the most respected editors of a newspaper which is business oriented. That kind of a philosophy must also be now enunciated within the public of Sri Lanka, that when you are investing in these different types of instruments, these are the risks, these are the returns, and this is the type of time horizon that you should look at. And if we can start doing that, I think some lesson that we have learned from COVID can then be instilled into the minds of investors as well.
Nista, that what I told, my office, I am not going to acquire, but sometime tomorrow, one of my managing director come and says, I want to buy this company, then I have nothing to say because I have to agree with it, right? So that is my office, I am not looking, but sometime my managing director, one of the company's chairman, come and suddenly come to my office and tell I want to buy this company, then I have nothing to say. I have to say, oh yes, right? Don't keep that part, but my office is not looking.
Yeah, okay. The head office is not looking. The head office is not looking.
Not looking, yeah.
Okay, thank you. We need to wrap it up, gentlemen. Thank very much. I want both the panelists to give your perhaps final statement as to how optimistic, how confident are you that Sri Lanka will make this opportunity, get it right in this another opportunity that is before the nation to, get growth right, get smart growth right, fix other problems and all that. Niwad, I'll start with you. What's your own confidence level and how do you see it?
I have always been optimistic, enjoyed creating the future, and that is important. If we can think what our future should be, and then we work towards that, there is a much greater chance of achieving that future than if you don't have a plan. Now, I think coming out of this difficult situation, we got to also think, where do we want to go? We want to get out of this current situation. And as Dhammika quite rightly mentioned, over the last 5 years, we only grew by $6 a year. And in the past, the period before that, we were growing at least by $250 a year. So $6 a year is a very low base. So that tells you, okay, that's a low base. And then now we should now search for some results that will take us forward fast. I would like to think of this new challenge in that fashion. We have a low base. We have got, of course, a very, very difficult situation to be in. First year may be tough, but beyond that, maybe something that we should be able to paint in a canvas that will make us go forward. And I would like to approach it in that fashion and then move forward with some clarity also in mind. And for that to happen, I'm very, very keen that there is an authoritative government in place. Authoritative, what I mean is that the authority of the government is clear, because if we can have that only, we can attract investors. We cannot go out into the world and say, hey, this is our policy, come and please invest with us, if we don't have a clarity as far as policies are concerned. So I think it's important for the whole country to understand that we need to have a proper government in place for us to go forward. If we have that in place, then we have the ability to go to the world and say, this is our policy, this is what we should do, and help us to do that and be a partner with us in going forward. To do that, we must have the proper building blocks in place, which is one most important thing in the election. And with that, we must have a proper economic plan. Not only the economic plan that the president has enunciated so far as to go forward, but also a recovery plan, a revival plan, which both must go together. And if we can get that in place, then we'll have an optimistic future. And I think we have every reason to believe that we can be optimistic for the future.
Okay, thank you. Dhammika?
No, Nisa, because this government, the president and the prime minister working hard, right? They're working even to Saturday, Sunday. It's not like earlier. Earlier only they work 6 hours, Saturday, Sunday off, holiday, right? I need, the leaders to work, like me. Then I think any problem, can sort it out. Without working, then finish, Nisa. Because of that, that I know that the president and the prime minister are working. Because of that, that ability is enough to, give a confidence for me. That's the only main thing I'm looking, no? Is working, good. Is not working, is bad. Right? Because of that, I don't think Nista is, that for the country, this country is not the small, is 87 billion total GDP to manage is like a, the small company, no? Because of that, I don't think it's going to be a big problem. I think people have no need to worry also, but only think some sectors, people have a problem, but they also have to think when the COVID problem is going to be over. According to that, they have to plan. But I think today the people are not going to trust the COVID going to be over another 8 months or 10 months. But next month, same day, the 10th, people will realize that will be going to be the whole world. I'm not talking to Sri Lanka. I'm talking about the world. I don't think maybe they can, this kind of a virus can sustain more than 10 months.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you very much, Niwad and Dhammika on behalf.
හොඳයි යාළුවනේ. මේ වීඩියෝස් වැදගත් කියලා හිතෙනවා නම් මගේ YouTube channel එක subscribe කරන්න. share කරන්නත් අමතක කරන්න එපා. සියලු දෙනාටම සුබ දවසක්.